Ladies and gentlemen, pain is not your enemy. It is the architect of your transformation. What you're going through right now, the heartbreak, the betrayal, the failures, it's not the end. It's the beginning. The beginning of something fierce, something unshakable, something monstrous. Because when life breaks you, it builds you differently. Pain is the most honest teacher you will ever meet. It doesn't lie. It doesn't sugarcoat. It shows you exactly who you are, stripped bare without the filters, without the mask. When life throws you into the fire, you have two choices: crumble or crystallize. And the people who rise from that furnace, they don't come back the same. They come back unbreakable. You see, pain doesn't just hurt, it refines. It doesn't ask for permission. It digs into your soul. It burns the comfort, the laziness, the excuses, all of it. Gone. What's left is raw strength. What's left is someone who doesn't flinch anymore. Because once you've walked through fire, the rain doesn't scare you. The cold doesn't shake you. The darkness, that becomes your ally. That furnace is not your grave, it's your rebirth. And every scream you've swallowed, every tear you've wiped away in silence, every time you whispered to yourself, just hold on a little longer. It was not for nothing. That was the fire working. That was the weakness leaving your body. That was life saying, you're not soft anymore. You're steel now. Pain teaches you discipline. It sharpens your instincts. It forces you to build a mindset that doesn't bend under pressure. While others hide from struggle, you've lived in it. While they complain about pressure, you were born in it. You don't fear the furnace anymore. You thank it, because without that fire, you would still be the version of yourself who doubts, who apologizes for dreaming big, who settles, but not anymore. Now you wake up with that look in your eyes. That look that says, I've been through hell and I'm not done yet. You move different. You speak with conviction, because you know the pain didn't come to destroy you. It came to evolve you, and you're not running from it. They laughed at your pain. They whispered about your failures. They pointed fingers at the parts of you that looked broken. But what they didn't realize is that every scar they mocked was actually a chapter of your survival story. Scars don't mean you lost. They mean you endured. They mean you got hit, but you didn't stay down. They mean you were wounded, but you refused to quit. People hide their scars because they're afraid to be seen as damaged, but not you. You wear them like armor, because you earned them. That betrayal, that heartbreak, that defeat, it could have destroyed you, but it didn't. It forged you. Every scar on your heart, on your mind, in your soul, is proof that you walked through fire and came out on the other side, still standing. And now when life comes at you again, you don't walk in soft. You don't walk in gentle. You walk in with experience etched into your skin. They look at your scars and feel pity. You look at them and feel power, because those marks tell a different story now. A story of resilience. A story of someone who faced the storm and became it. You don't need to explain where they came from. You don't need to justify the battles you've fought. Let them wonder, let them guess. Because while they talk, you're building. While they laugh, you're rising. They'll never understand what it took to be you. Because your scars are not a weakness. They are your history. They are your protection. They are your reminder that you don't bleed like you used to. You don't break like you used to. You've grown thicker skin, a sharper mind, a colder fire in your soul. And now when the next hit comes, there comes a moment in your life when you stop asking the world for permission. You stop explaining your dreams. You stop apologizing for your ambition. Because somewhere along the road, pain teaches you a brutal truth. Begging never saved a warrior. Monsters aren't born from comfort. They're born when the world slams the door in your face. And instead of knocking again, you kick it down. You see, the world respects silence. Not the silence of fear, but the silence of focus. the silence of someone who's not pleading anymore, because they've already made up their mind. You don't rise by waiting for someone to rescue you. You rise because no one's coming. And that realization doesn't break you. It builds you. There's power in the moment you stop chasing validation. There's fire in the moment you stop seeking approval. Because monsters don't ask, "Do you think I'm good enough?" They look in the mirror and say, "I dare the world to stop me." They're not loud because they want attention. They're loud because they're done being silent. They're not aggressive because they're angry. They're aggressive because they've been ignored for too long. People don't understand your intensity? Good. Let them stay confused. You weren't made to be understood. You were made to be unmatched. You rise not because you're unbroken, but because you're unstoppable. And when you rise, you don't come back to explain. You come back to own the place, to rewrite the rules, to demand nothing, and take everything. Because monsters are made in the shadows. They are crafted in rejection. They are sculpted in the silence when no one is clapping, when no one is watching. That's when the real work happens. That's when the beast inside you stops whispering and starts roaring, and now that roar is growing. Now that hunger is louder than your fear. Now that power in your chest is no longer sleeping. There is something terrifying about a person who refuses to quit. Someone who doesn't care about odds, doesn't slow down for applause, doesn't stop when it gets dark, and in fact, that's when they move faster. The unstoppable don't look for the green light. They become the traffic. People fear what they can't control. They fear the one who keeps rising no matter how many times they're knocked down. Because the unstoppable don't just bounce back. They come back bigger, smarter, harder. You don't have to be the loudest. You don't need fame or luck or mercy. All you need is that unrelenting fire. That voice inside that says, no matter what you throw at me, I'm not backing off. Unstoppable people move with purpose. They don't cry over closed doors. They break through walls. They don't chase opportunities. They create them. They don't ask, what if it doesn't work? They say, what if I make it impossible to fail? See, average minds panic when pressure hits. But when you're unstoppable, pressure becomes your fuel. You don't shrink. You expand. You lean into it. You thrive in it. Because when you become unstoppable, the world shifts. Enemies retreat. Obstacles move. Doubt begins to whisper. And then goes silent. You don't need to scream because your actions roar louder than anything you could ever say. Let them fear you. Let them wonder how you're still standing. Let them question how you keep going without rest, without help, without a backup plan. Because they don't see the hours you worked when everyone else was sleeping. They don't feel the fire you carry in your chest when others carry excuses. They'll never understand what it takes to build a mind that doesn't break. They only see the results, the rise, the momentum, the dominance. They see the storm coming, and then they realize. So now you know, pain wasn't sent to destroy you. It was sent to unleash you. You walked through the fire, and it burned the weakness out of you. You were scarred, but those scars, they became your armor. You stopped begging, and you started rising. And now, you're becoming the very thing the world fears the most. Unstoppable, unshaken, unforgiving. You don't need a title. You don't need permission. You don't need them to clap for you. Because the monster inside you doesn't need approval. It needs freedom. And now that it's awake, there's no going back. Let them call you intense. Let them call you cold. Let them call you obsessed, because the truth is, they're just not ready for someone who refused to break. You are no longer who you were. You are the storm. You are the weapon. You are the monster. And the world better make room. Because your pain didn't make you weak. It made you legendary.